Hey guys, this is Tension bringing you another raid video. Today's video is going to be a little short. I'm just going to kind of go over some things pretty important, a little more in depth, something I haven't seen talked about too much. Uh, Before we get into that though, this kind of wanted to give a little show how I usually am playing this game when I am focused on it. So I have two accounts. I have my primary one, which is on the right, and I have my free to play on the left, which has which has had some pretty insane luck. So I'll show you a comparison of both accounts at some point. But this is kind of how I play. I'll have some information on the bottom right where my tabs are, and then Discord on the bottom left. Also bragging a little bit with my clan leader, showing off his 30 mil damage on normal. So, anyway, going into the topic of this discussion is, I posted my Doom Priest video, and it was brought up a couple of conversations in my clan, and just a couple of people messaging me about how they build her, and theory crafting on what I do, what's best, all this situation, and it got me thinking too. In a lot of games, and I'm going to reference the League of Legends while I'm farming masteries here, but when you played a certain champion League of Legends, like 90% of the time there was a build order that you followed, and that was it. I mean, you could do a little variation, maybe an item here or two, but like if you're playing we're playing the AD bottom, you usually got some kind either the whatever the sword was and the potion, and then you went straight into a certain item, and so it was pretty set in stone what the meta was for those items. Well, that's the case for most games. You have what's best and what's what isn't considered valuable or most efficient on a champion. I would say Raid is one of these games where that's actually not always the case. You're obviously there's going to be champions where it's set in stone what you need to do, what you have to have on them at a minimum for them to be effective. But in talking to some people about my Doom Priest build, and they were great conversations and people had some good points, but my Doom Priest is built for what I need her to do. So I have said many times that the priority when you're playing this game is a 12-3 brutal farmer, first thing first, arena second, and clan boss damage last. Because there's just a order that needs to be done to what I feel to be the most effective way to get advance in this game. And what I was thinking was, my Doom Priest build, and I'll show it after I finish this run right here, is what I need. And now, all the time when you go on Reddit, when you go on the Discord, you see people talking about, hey, can someone share their masteries, their items, their build for their champions? And it's just, you see people post it and see what they got to do. So that's great and all, and that's a wonderful reference point, but don't get trapped in the idea of, okay, here's someone's masteries, I need to copy this 100%. What I mean by that is, unless you have the exact same 4 champions or exact same 5 champions that they're using for clan boss or arena, there may be situational changes that may need to be put in place in order for you to be effective. So for example, let me go and show you this. So if we reference back down to my Doom Priest. So this, I have her with a shield set, just HP on a lot of things. I think I have HP percentage gloves. Pretty sure this is still my awful speed chest because I haven't got another one yet, but just flat HP, and then of course speed boots. And then I'm pretty sure it's HP across the board whenever possible. So the way I have her items in her mastery set up is primarily for arena. Now, I'll use her in dungeons, I'll use her in other situations, even clan boss until I get some other ones. I just pulled a few new champs, but she's my arena champion. And people are going, well, why don't you replace her with this champ? Is this champion better versus this? Possibly, but in my scenario, what I need her to do is I need her to buff my 2 nukers, and I'll show you a run in a second. And I need her to, if they beat me in speed, clear debuffs on my team so that way they don't lose their first turn. So what I mean by that, and I'll do a quick arena. We'll just do one real fast. I'll refresh the list. I'll take that free win in a second, but let's just show you on this. This could be one of those trap teams, but so 2 things are going to happen here. I'm going to go first, I'm not going to go first. And this is where Doom Priest helps me either way. So let's see. So he went first. Oh, well, kind of. So I am actually going first with Doom Priest. So what I need her to do right now is to buff my champions and give me that 50% attack increase. Now I can do my rotation and hopefully kill them. We're actually pretty even in speed here, which is pretty funny. But and I'll let this auto just so I win real fast. So I need her to do that. Now, if the roles were reversed, and for whatever reason I was going against a team that, you know, very similar, and they had stuns and debuffs, and they hit me first, and my team is debuffed before I even get my first turn off, Doom Priest is there to remove those buffs with their passive and do a little bit of a heal. Now, the talk that came up was, well, why don't you use a champion that's a little better that has the removal debuff and stuff. It's hard to find a champion that has both a giant 50% increase in attack and a debuff remover. In either situation, is beneficial. So in my case, even though I just pulled a few extra new champs that I'm working on, I don't know if you saw at the beginning, but in my case, this is my arena team for quite a while. I always am experimenting, playing around with stuff, you know, looking at people's recommendations. But I have it built the way I need to on those 4 champions to do to win most of my games. And it just comes down to that this build is not probably going to be the best build based on for another person who has 1 different champ, 2 different champs, especially if they have 3 different champs to go along with Doom Priest. So again, the whole point of this video is why I'm just saying, you know, be cautious when you are taking builds and information from other people. Use it to build your team, but do not copy it straight from them, because again, you need to understand how each ability, how each champion works, and use how to use them best for you. And again, if you're just copying someone else's artifacts, their masteries and everything, 1 champion difference can make that build not the most efficient build. So learn the masteries, learn what your abilities do, play around. And honestly, this game is wonderful in the fact that there's so much theory crafting that has yet to be done. I've said it before, I think passives are just broken in this game, and I think they're not used enough. So once people start figuring them out a little bit more, we'll see a lot more passive champions come into the mix. But again, thanks for watching the video. Give me a like, give me a comment below. We can discuss it further. Subscribe if you like the content, and I'll be providing more videos soon. As always, thanks for watching.